Welcome to our review of the Spanish Grand Prix. The Spanish Grand Prix was held last week in Barcelona, Spain. There was a huge crowd at the track. This race didn't have too much action, so we're going to get through this faster than Alonso delivers pizza to his fans. Large crowd for this race, over 284,000 people for Carlos Sainz and Fernando Alonso's home race. Charles Leclerc started from the pit lane. As we're about to begin, Max Verstappen's on pole. Carlos Sainz in second tries to slipstream Max, but it fails, and Max is able to hold on to first place. Lando Norris comes in contact with Lewis Hamilton, and he loses the end plane on his front wing. He has to come back into the pits. George Russell actually goes off track, and he's able to rejoin the race. Lando Norris started third, and then he ended up in 20th. This totally ruined his race day. I hope he leaves McLaren. Nico Hülkenberg's Haas is able to pass Zhou Guanyu and also Yuki Tsunoda. They had a three-team battle. By lap 9, Sergio Perez is able to get himself up into 9th place after his horrible qualifying the day before. Fernando Alonso's home race wasn't going as planned. He was only in 7th place by lap 10. Then we get to the first round of pit stops. Esteban Ocon pits lap 14, and then we have Stroll pitting on lap 15, Carlos Sainz pits on lap 16, and then Charles Leclerc pits on lap 17. On lap 20, Fernando Alonso pits. He was actually behind Lance Stroll for the rest of the day. Surprising. Also, both Mercedes were in podium places. Their upgrades from the Monaco race have been working. At this point in the race, none of the top 4 competitors have pitted. But then we have Lewis Hamilton coming to the pits on lap 25, and then we have his driving partner, George Russell, coming into the pits on lap 26. And then Max Verstappen finally pits on lap 27, with Sergio Perez coming to pit on lap 28. Lewis Hamilton was charging hard, and he's able to pass Carlos Sainz on lap 28. He wants that podium place. This would only be his second podium for the year. Unusual for Hamilton. So, Max Verstappen is comfortably in first place. Then this was the funny part of the race. George Russell thought he felt rain, and he said, "Rain in turn 5.
Are you high?
Huh? After hearing of the possible rain, Christian Horner used the sophisticated weather system of putting his hand out. Then over the team radio with Mercedes, George Russell realizes it's just sweat from the top of his helmet. Was George Russell smoking on some of the Zaza before the race?
Man, how high are you right now? What?
At the midway point of the race, top 5 were Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton, Carlos Sainz, George Russell, and Lance Stroll. Lance Stroll decides to pit on lap 35. Also on lap 35, George Russell is able to catch up to Carlos Sainz, and he passes him on lap 35. Just like George Russell passes Carlos Sainz, we would like you to like and subscribe so we can bring you more racing videos to the channel. Charles Leclerc pits on lap 42. Meanwhile, Fernando Alonso pits on lap 45 and puts hard tires on his car. Nico Hülkenberg had a problem in the pits on lap 47 with his rear jack. Max pits again on lap 53 for soft tires. In the end, Max comes home with the victory. He had a 23-second lead over Lewis Hamilton. Rounding out the top 5 were Lewis Hamilton in second, George Russell in third, Sergio Perez in fourth, and Carlos Sainz in fifth. Great race by Max and the Red Bull team, but we got to give it to the Mercedes team. Their upgrades that they brought to Monaco are working. Everyone thought Fernando Alonso was going to have a great race in the Aston Martin. He was only able to finish 7th. Also, Carlos Sainz finishing 5th. So none of the Spaniards were able to podium. Both Lewis and George were able to podium. They're not looking like the customer of Mercedes, whereas Aston Martin, the customer, were beating them the past few races. Finally, Mercedes is able to beat their customer car of the Aston Martin. Some race notes. Charles Leclerc ruined his day in qualifying the day before. He was only able to finish 11th. One thing I have noticed, Lando Norris qualified great, but when he broke his front wing by colliding with Lewis Hamilton, he was only able to finish 17th. I think Lando Norris has the talent, but he's got to get out of McLaren. What was surprising, Fernando Alonso wasn't able to podium. He's able to podium almost every race, and being this his home race, there were a lot of fans hoping for him or even Carlos Sainz to make the podium, but that wasn't the case. Also, other race notes, the shock of the day was Lance Stroll finishing 6th. He finished ahead of Fernando Alonso.
You're joking, right?
No, it's true. It's very true.
I don't think Lance Stroll has finished ahead of Fernando Alonso at any race this year. Congrats to him. Congrats to the Red Bull team. They are flying. I think the season might be wrapped up by Monza or even earlier, but at least the Mercedes team made it interesting. If I was going to rate this race, I'd give it about a 7.5. It wasn't a bad race. We knew what we were getting, and we had no safety car. We haven't had a safety car in not a long time. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. We're doing more videos. MotoGP is back this week with Mugello. So we'll be doing videos of Mugello. I hope you enjoyed the video. Redbet signing off.